John Fredericks, the esteemed host of John Fredericks Media Network, as well as Godzilla Wins, and also Chris Saxman, who is a consistent contributor at Godzilla Wins and also host of Renegade Rant. Whenever we will be, if slash win, whenever we be back on that, it's a very fun time. We've done a few episodes of that. But yeah, if we just got on air, you're listening to Godzilla Wins. Your host, Logan Powell, Vince Mayako, Brent Statler, John Frederick, and Chris Saxman once again. Gentlemen, how's everyone doing this morning?
Super. Get set. Let's go.
Sir, yes, sir. Can't complain on this beautiful Saturday. Let's get right into it because it's been a jam-packed past week. There's a lot of things to talk about today in terms of what's going on. Like we said, talked about last week, the MLB is heating up even more. You got the NHL, the playoffs are continuing, and there's been some very interesting storylines in that and some developments. You can't go wrong with that. However, the one thing today that is different from all else, that is the Kentucky Derby. That one of the most historic events in all of sports, the 152nd Kentucky Derby. Today, May 2nd, 6:57 p.m. Purse for $5 million at Churchill Downs, Louisville, Kentucky. Distance, one and a half quarter mile. It's going to be on NBC and Peacock. Weather, not a factor whatsoever, gentlemen. How do you think it's going to go today? What are your early favorites, early storylines you're looking at? Anything at all? John, I know you're a big horse guy. What are you looking at early on for the 152nd Kentucky Derby today?
All right, give me just a second here so I get to the column that I'm putting out. So if you just give me 1 second. Thank you for joining us today, everybody. Thanks, Logan, for being the host today. As some people know, not everybody. I was a racehorse trainer for a decade in the early '80s when I got started there, working in high school on the weekends, cleaning stalls, and I was a leading trainer at several Freehold, Liberty Bell, Yonkers. Wasn't a leader there, but certainly in the things of that nature. So I know about the game, and I also own a thoroughbred racehorse now. But the thing about the Derby is with the distance. That is the main thing. A lot of these horses have not run that distance in the past, and so I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to give you my picks right off the bat. To win, I like number 12, Chief Wallaby, 9-1 morning odds. Trainer Bill Mott, jockey Junior Alvarado. Neither trainer or jockey has ever won a Kentucky Derby, ever. So I think this is going to be the first for them both. Why do I like this horse? This is totally different from the race of Alvarado last year with Serenity. Chief Wallaby didn't even debut till he was 3. So he hasn't been on the scene that long. There's not a lot of hype here, but in the Fountain of Youth race, he had a terrible trip. He went wide. He lost by a neck to Commandment. He saved ground in the rail. Had he had a better trip, he wins that race. Florida Derby, everybody said he flattened out late. Wrong. He lost focus. Big difference. So that's why they put double blinders on him now. The blinkers. That was kind of the missing piece. So that is my pick to win at 9-1. Second, I like Emerging Market at 11-1. And I don't know what the hell's going on in there, but somebody's got water going or something. But I like that for second. As people know, I don't bet trifectas. I don't bet exactas. I don't bet place. I don't bet show. I only bet to win. That's how you, if you really want to be successful in winning money, betting racehorses, and you're there all day, you bet to win. Derby is different. You want to do exacta boxes. You want to do trifecta boxes. You bet win, place, and show because it's a fun race. But I'm going to be betting to win only. So that's my pick, number 12, Chief Wallaby, 9-1.
Yeah, once again, some other notable posts are number 1, the Renegade at 5-1. He is the leading horse right now as of the most latest rankings. You also have at the number 8 position, So Happy. He's the 6-1 odds. Number 9, the Puma at 8-1 odds. Wonder Dean, uh, number 10, 21 odds. Could be some good value there, possibly. Uh, Number 18, Further Ado at 7-1. I'm looking at him as well. And then number 15, Emerging Market, 11-1. Uh, if he were to win, his trainer won yesterday with always a runner. He won the Grade 1 Kentucky Oaks for 1.5 million prize win. Trainer Chad Brown, and also ridden by Jose Ortiz, who's a legendary trainer. Him and his brother. Jose Ortiz, his brother Irad Ortiz, is the jockey for Renegade. So look out for that. He has a little bit lower odds, but that would be interesting to see the kind of double winner there for Friday and Saturday. Coach Mayako, what are you looking at? Anything specifically? Have you placed any bets, or are you just watching for fun? You big horse guy? Like, just tell me, what are you thinking?
I love horse racing. Absolutely love it. And this is like the Super Bowl of horse racing today, the Kentucky Derby, first Saturday in May. Run for the Roses, all the terms that are out there. I actually bet on David Portnoy's horse yesterday. I took the Kool-Aid and drank it, and I believe his horse finished second to last. So, yeah, but it was fun. I mean, it's fun to put a little small wager and to have an adult beverage and watch the Kentucky Oaks, and then obviously today the Kentucky Derby. Something that's of note, and it seems like each year there's more and more entries into the Kentucky Derby, and this year there were, to begin 24, there have already been 5 horses that have scratched, and some of them pretty notable horses. The Puma was a late scratch, either late last night or early this morning. Another one, Silent Tactic. Now, an interesting story about Silent Tactic. Okay, I'm going to get personal here. My wife is actually related to the owner of Silent Tactic, John Oxley. John Oxley has been in thoroughbred business for a number of years, oil tycoon from Tulsa, Oklahoma, took that money, went to Florida, became really into polo and thoroughbred horse racing. He was actually the owner of Monarchos, who won the Kentucky Derby back in the late 90s. So when we saw Silent Tactic as a entry after really doing quite well in some of the preliminary races up to today's Kentucky Derby, unfortunately, he suffered a hoof injury earlier this week, and he's been scratched. Hoping to maybe see him, I don't know, the Preakness, that's a pretty quick turnaround. That's 2 weeks. I don't know if we'll see him in the Preakness, but maybe we'll see him in the Belmont. But interesting, with 5 of the entries scratching, that gives maybe some horses some better opportunities, having less traffic to deal with to navigate the 1.25 mile track at Churchill Downs. So I'll come back to my prediction later as we wrap up the Kentucky Derby, but it's a fun day. It is. It's the best 2 minutes in all of sport, right? I think that's what they call it.
Yep. Yeah. I've never been much of a horse fan, but I think this year is going to be probably one of my first years I actually watch it. I know my mom has always been she's always talked about it and watched it, but I've never been a big fan. But I think this year I'll start. Brendan, are you a big horse guy at all? Do you watch it at all? Do you have any storylines you're looking at all?
My knowledge of horse racing is about the same as my knowledge for golf, which is absolutely zero. So my opinion on this really does not hold a lot of water. I'm going to throw some money on Chief Wallaby just because John seems like he knows this world pretty well, and that's who he's picking. So that's what I'm going to go with, and I'll tune in today to see if I win a little bit of money.
Sax, you're much of a horse fan? You watch the Kentucky Derby at all? You look at any storylines?
I'm a growing horse racing fan. Everyone's always paid attention to the Kentucky Derby, especially in the 70s when we had so many Triple Crown winners, and obviously Secretariat's an amazing run. But my daughter and son-in-law live in Saratoga Springs, which is one of the most historic horse centers and horse tracks in the country, if not the world. And it's a wonderful atmosphere. And last, I guess it was 2 years ago in the summer, we went up there and spent the day at the races, and it was just fantastic. We had a great time. I made money, which I normally don't do over a course of a day of betting. A lot of fun to do. So I got into and you really get into. Well, the great thing about horse racing is there's a lot of data you can chew over between the races and before you make your bets, and that's always exciting and fun to get into it a little bit heavier. This one, the Kentucky Derby, from a betting perspective, is hard with that many horses, right? You just kind of go, oh, what are we doing here? How do you pick up this field? I mean, especially when it's just 2 minutes and they're all racing. You know, I'm thinking about the Rich Strike a couple of years ago. What a exciting race that was. But because my daughter-in-law and son-in-law live in Saratoga Springs, they know a lot of the horse training people up there. And in fact, our granddaughter's godfather is a trainer, and I rely on his takes on horse racing as I do John Fredericks, given his background, and the Venn diagram between Trey, our granddaughter's godfather, and John Fredericks is the same. Chief Wallaby. They both like Chief Wallaby, and Trey also likes Further Ado. So I'm going to take a look at Further Ado. And because I'm a Steelers fan, I got to take a hard look at Renegade, the favorite. You just can't.
Mama.
Oh, mama, you just can't get away from Renegade and the Steelers. I'm a homer. I don't care. It's my money. I'll lose it when I want to, and I'll smile when I do it. But if they pay off at 9-1, Chief Wallaby, I think opened at 20-1, is now down to 9-1, and I've seen as low as 8-1. So, you know, if you're going to bet on the Kentucky Derby, put a little bit of research into it, have a lot more fun, and make a mint julep and just watch the races.
I just don't like I don't like Renegade at 5-1. I just don't see it. I mean, part of the thing in betting these races, you're looking for a certain amount of value, and I think this horse is way overrated. With a couple of good starts he had, you know, maybe at 15-1, I might throw him in, but at 5-1, I just don't see it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fun at 5-1. Who cares? 10-1's exciting. Let's not kid ourselves. That's one of the great things about horse racing is you get big payoffs, which if you win. So as Logan pointed out at the beginning of the show, gamble responsibly. And you know, if you have a problem, call somebody, get some help. But for this one, America, chip in some money for the horse racing industry, and let's have some fun.
So, hey, John, do you don't put much value in previous races of winning races? Like Renegade won the Arkansas Derby, which is historically one of the better precursors to the Kentucky Derby. He's also won some stake races at Saratoga, Tampa Bay, and Belmont. I mean, in a field like this, doesn't a winning resume translate to possibly finishing in the top 3 in the Derby?
Depending on where they raced, what the distance was, what their trips were, what the competition was, you know, all of that goes into play. I mean, he's got a great resume. That's why he's the morning line favorite, likely to go off at, what is he, 5-1? Probably
he's 4-1 now.
4-1. He'll probably get bet down to 7-2, 3-1, something like that, because of those wins he's had. But you know, a couple of those Saratoga races, really the competition was nothing like he's going to find today. And you also have to look at the distance. You know, if you've not run this distance in the past, you know, that's one of the issues you've got to put in. So also the Derby with so many horses always is going to favor outside posts. Like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they get bottled up. You know, one bad thing happens, they get stuck. They have to go 3 wide. That's why I like my horse on coming out of the 12 hole.
Welcome in Dan Hobgood to the show. Godzilla wins. You're listening to Logan Powell, the host, Vince Mayako, Brendan Statler, John Fredericks, Chris Saxman. And yeah, I mean, the Kentucky Derby is a very fun time. One question, I mean, John, I hate to keep coming to you, but you're the horse expert on this call. There hasn't been a post-1 winner since 1986, 40 years. The last one was Ferdinand. And since Renegade is the favorite, what is the issue with post-1?
Too many horses. If it's a 6 or 7 or 8 horse race coming out of that gate, and the distance isn't as much, you can shoot out of there. You can clear space. Maybe you try to wire the field. Maybe you're sitting in the 2 or 3 hole. The problem is when you've got what? How many are in this now? I know 5 of them
19.
scratched. How many?
19 now.
19 horses. Okay, you got 19 horses, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 posts coming out of that gate. I mean, you're at tremendous disadvantage because everybody's shooting out of there, and people are trying to get into position, and so you get jostled back unless you've got the early speed to get out there. And you can't. It's tough to wire the field when you're going a mile and a mile and an eighth here. So that makes it tough. So if you shoot out, you got the early speed gone. If you're in some of these middle posts or towards the outside, you're able to shoot out a little bit, settle in somewhere, And it's look with this, with the distance here, you always look for who can come off the pace, right? Who can close? Nobody's going to wire this field, right? You don't have the early speed there. Somebody will try to do it. They're not going to be able to wire the field. You can't back off the half like you can do in an overnight where you shoot out in the first quarter fast and then you have the lead and you back off. No, there's no back off. So you're looking for somebody to come off the pace, basically that can close, that doesn't have to go 4 wide. And the problem is if you get boxed in like that, you got nowhere to go but to pull back and then go 3 or 4 wide down that final turn, which basically takes way too much out of your horse. So those are the issues with being it's so tough to win from an inside post. Now, the only benefit you got is if you can get out of there clean, and you can maybe sit in the 3-hole or sit in the 4-hole, get cover. Cover means there's a horse ahead of you, so you're not breaking the wind flow. You can get cover, and then you can sneak up the rail. That's what Ferdinand did. He snuck up the rail. Now, if you're able to do that, then you got a shot. But if that rail doesn't open, you got nowhere to go, especially coming down the stretch when everybody starts closing and bunching up. That's what makes it tough with 19 horses in there.
What's the preferred starting position, John?
10 to 15.
10 to 15?
In this kind of a race.
Right.
My estimation, 8 to 15, 10 to 15. Look, I don't want to be 20, and I don't want to be 1. I don't want to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got to get out of there, and it depends on what Alvarado does. He's got to get out of there, bunch in early, get cover, and then make his move and keep his horse focused. Chief Wallaby has not had a lot of races. I mean, he didn't start. He was 3. He didn't even race as a 2-year-old. So the one I said earlier, he lost focus. He's looking around. That's what horses do. They're like, "Hey, what's going on over there? What's up with these fans?" Right? So that's why they put the double blinkers on him to keep him focused, and I think that's going to make a difference.
Dan, welcome to the show this morning. Are you a big horse racing guy? Do you keep up with it at all?
I'm an avid Kentucky Derby watcher, so I will watch the Triple Crown races. I'm sure that I'm not the first person to say this on the program this morning, but how can I pick against a horse named Renegade with the whole Steelers and Pittsburgh background? I mean, that's.
Do you guys just get up every day and just
yes.
Like that's exactly it. If something's named after a song that you guys that they play at the stadium. I mean, is that your whole deal?
Not just when we wake up, when we're eating lunch, when we go to bed. I mean, the whole thing.
I mean, me and Dan text regularly about this kind of stuff.
John, you have to understand something. We all root for the teams from just one city. That's unique for you. Okay? You're Houston, you're Tennessee. What are you in hockey? God knows. We all have one city we root for. It's the same color. It's the same color combination. PGH. It makes it easy. It's our starting point every day. Yep. How'd the Buccos do last night?
They did pretty good.
They're off the skid, huh?
I turned it when I saw the score. They were up like 8-1
9-1 finish. Keller had a great game. And Henry Davis hit 2 home runs. My God!
All right, wow! Oh my gosh!
My God!
One big storyline to look at in the Kentucky Derby this year is legendary horse trainer Brad Cox. Now he's already won. He's technically won one Kentucky Derby. It was in 2021. However, it was due to a disqualification to a drug test. The original winner, Medina Spirit, was disqualified. So his horse, probably going to butcher this, but Mandaloun won it. However, I mean, he hasn't won it upright ever. And he's one of the greatest horse trainers of all time. And he currently has 2 this year at decent odds to win in Commandment and Further Ado. I'm keeping an eye on Further Ado. Coach Mayaka, do you think that like this could be his year with these 2 horses, that he could get a legit win at the Kentucky Derby?
Oh, absolutely. I love his horse Commandment. He's one of my top picks, I think, in this. He's actually had a victory at Churchill Downs as well, too. So I think that plays a little bit in it as to do. If a horse has experience at a certain track, it's not necessarily to turn into a home field advantage, but it definitely, that horse has some familiarity. Also has some big wins early in the year at Gulfstream Park. Commandment's right there at the top of the list, no question about it. And you know, being we got the Godzilla on his show, Godzilla Wins. How important? I mean, we have, you know, when we think of famous horse trainers, we think of Dwayne Lucas, Bob Baffert, Todd Pletcher, who obviously is also the trainer of Renegade, Brad Cox, as Logan had mentioned. How much value do you put in on who trains a horse, John?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
10. The trainer, you have to understand the job of the trainer, okay? The trainer is in charge of everything about this particular horse or those in his barn, right? From the workout, from mental attitude, from spots of lameness, from how to race him, to what his strengths are, to what his weaknesses are, to the conditioning factor. All horses are different. They're all different. And so really great trainers that have a good barn and good assistant trainers, they kind of know. A big thing is they know where to put their horses. Obviously the Derby's a little bit different because of the money involved, and you know everybody tries to get there. But if you're just going to, you know, regular overnight races, you know, with the claimers and condition horses, a big job of the trainer is where to place the horse where they think they can be competitive and get the most money value. But in this type of a thing where you're looking at 2 and 3 year olds, I mean, all of the conditioning that you do, all of the thought process, you know, how do you get them prepared for a 1 1/8 if they've not run that before? All of that goes into play. So the trainer it's a general manager and the game day coach all wrapped into one. And obviously the player, if you do a football analogy, the players are the horse and the jockey. Now, jockeys is equally as critical because you're trying to figure out who's going to get you the best ride, and the ones with experience really make a difference because they've got better instincts. They've been there before, and you got to make snap decisions. I mean, instantaneous decisions. On top of that,
well, to that point, JF, I think Ron Turcotte, Secretariat's jockey, said that the only reason Secretariat ever lost a race was because of him. He said, "I just didn't know what I had in the horse."
Yeah, I mean, that's because you've got to make, as the race unfolds, you have a game plan, okay? Going in, here's my game plan. But then what was it Tyson said? You go with the game plan until you get punched in the face, and then the whole thing evaporates. You go to plan B. I mean, it's the same thing. You have a game plan right out of the gate. If that game plan falls apart, you got to improvise and go to plan B based on the evolving situation of the race. You also have to know what the fractions are, right? I mean, if I'm sitting 10th and I've got an enormously fast first quarter fraction, okay, I know that I'm in good shape because I know who's ever on the front end is going to be fading out when they got to go an extra eighth of a mile because the fractions are too fast. If somebody's backed off the half enough, now you get to the half and that's, you know, they backed it up 3 seconds. Now I'm screwed if I'm 15th. I mean, I gotta make a move now, or I'm not even going to be in the hunt. So all those decisions have to be made on the horse with the wind blowing in your face, going 35 miles an hour. Basically it.
John, when a scratch takes place, and this, I think for the viewing audience, we've had 5 scratches already. You said, Coach.
Mhm.
Do they condense the field into, or do they leave those race gates open?
You mean actually what post
Where-
position they
Or
are?
post
No, those
position, yeah.
those gates will be condensed. So there'll
Okay.
not be like 5 empty gates and then 19. So they all
Okay.
get condensed down, but
Okay.
they have the same. They'll have the same number that they came in with.
But it'll go like, I think the 13th gate was a scratch, so it'll go 12, 14.
Right.
But they won't have a horse. They won't have an empty slot.
Right. Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
That's just for people looking at this thing for the first time, trying to make sense and put some level of research and data into this. I think it's important, especially when you have 5 scratches,
Yeah,
right?
and even if they didn't do that, it would be relevant, because if 2 gates are open and I'm the third one after the open, well, there's nobody there,
Right.
so it's like I'm there, so it's irrelevant.
okay. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and give our final picks for maybe if you want to give, like, I know horse racing is one of those things you have maybe like a long shot winner, then you have one that you probably would actually make money on. If anyone is willing to start, and give me your 2 or 3 best odds you're looking at, and yeah, we'll go and start with Coach.
I love I think John brought up Chief Wallaby. However, I am on the West Coast, correct, gentlemen? So I am going to go with a horse that won the prestigious Santa Anita Derby a month ago, and that would be So Happy. Right now, So Happy at 6-1. I really like this horse. I think this horse is going to be in the mix. Obviously, when you're talking about a field of 19 horses, it's a crapshoot. I think what we had 2 or 3 years ago, a horse, I think, won the Derby at 50-1 odds, I believe. Does that sound right, John?
Yeah, Rich Strike.
And the favorite it's been, I don't know, 20 years since the favorite, which right now is Renegade, which deservedly so is the favorite with its resume. But it's been over 20 years since the favorite has won. So I'm going to go with So Happy. And 60-year-old, for us 60-year-old guys, 60-year-old jockey, Mike Smith.
Wow.
Let's go, Mike.
Hey.
I mean, that's not a bad. I tell you what, that's not a bad pick. Where was it? I don't remember, and I'm not looking at the line right now, Coach. Where was his last race?
It would have been the Santa Anita Derby in Los Angeles.
When was that?
A month ago.
Okay, so they have to
April 4th, I believe.
They have to fly him 3,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Fly him. Wow.
Yeah, they fly him.
Wow.
So they got to fly him. Some horses take to that.
Coach are first class.
Some horses take to that. Some don't. And it depends on when they got him to Kentucky. But that's why I never bet on a foreign horse. I know that Japan horse last time came in second or third. That was a fluke. He just got a great trip. Couple of horses have come in from Dubois. They always finish last. That is just, it's tough to fly that many hours. Takes them weeks to recover. It never works. So that's one of the downsides on your West Coast horses. At some point in the last 3 weeks, he flew 3,000 miles, and it just takes a lot out of them standing there. Planes going, they're in a different environment. It's not like when you're on a horse van, because that's their world, right? There's hay in there, they get it. You can open the window. You put them on a plane, on a transport plane, which I've done several times in my life. Coming from Los Angeles, it's tough. So that's why I would shy away from him.
And before you go on to the next person here, Logan, important question to ask the panel. Drink of choice today during the Kentucky Derby?
Bourbon.
Brendan.
Of course, it's got to be bourbon. What bourbon on the rocks? Are we talking a mint julep? Are we talking a twin spire? What are we talking here?
I'm usually straight up.
There you go. I like that.
Neat.
Jack and Coke, hold the Jack.
There you go.
Why adulterate it?
I do like
Actually, you can't do anything to screw up Jack Daniels. It's already screwed up enough.
Oh, Jack Daniels is great. Watch your
The hell it is. garbage.
Hey, today it's got to be Woodford Reserve today, though, right?
Woodford's the sponsor of the Derby. If you want to go and give yourself a treat, get the double oaked Woodford Reserve.
I bought it yesterday. I bought a bottle of it yesterday, so I'm going to crack that baby open.
Special little liquid right there.
I promise I will not allow I'm promising, my wife is promising she will not take any video of me today because by the 12th race at Churchill Downs, I might not remember the previous 11 races.
Slow your roll. If you're watching every race and drinking bourbon, you will not see the 12th race.
I'm enjoying some Jackie Coke Hold Jack right now.
Well, I'm gonna my drink tonight when they call the horn, 3 fingers of Grey Goose, 1 ice cube.
Nice.
All right. Hey, buy a drink. It'll be y'all gonna make money for
milk.
This, but Mr. T. That's my drink of choice.
Oh, I got scared thinking you were going to say White Claw, so at least you didn't go that far.
Nah,
a little better.
I actually had some Twisted Tea last night. With that being said, you might want to do this long before drinking or way after drinking. Healthy Cell. Now, if you're getting older, you're on creaky joints anyway, or if you're just very active person, or if you work out a lot, you're going to have creaky joints. You're going to have aches and pains. One way to solve that is with Healthy Cell's new Joint Health and Mobility Gel. Now, it's a notable gel that combines curcumine, glucosamine, codertine, hyaluronic acid, and omega-3s, all of which are incredible joint supplements on their own. However, it's all packed into one single serve pack, which is exactly what you need. So it's one of those things where you can take it whenever. It's easy accessible. It's not hard to get down, and it works. It helps. It's not a fad. It's not snake oil. It actually works. It's healthy. It's good for you. Healthy Cell is a very reputable, good company, and they have this new gel pack that is perfect for anytime use. So if you need joint health and mobility, which as you get older, everyone does. Go to healthycell.com, promo code Godzilla for 20% off. That's Godzilla, all uppercase, at healthycell.com. Now, with that being said, you're listening to Godzilla Wins. I'm your host, Logan Powell, alongside Vince Mayako, Brendan Statler, John Fredericks, Chris Saxman, and Dan Hobgood. We just talked about our picks for the Kentucky Derby. Now, I know I might have missed a few, but Brendan Statler, I'm probably sure he's going to say number 1, Renegade. That was probably
part of me wants to see Renegade win now, just so we could all call John later and sing the stick song. I think that would be great.
I love it.
But like I said, I know nothing about horse racing. So let's go Chief Wallaby. I've heard a few people say that. So
all right,
let's go.
With that being said, let's move on to a sport that I think the rest of this panel knows more about, which is the NHL. However, before that, I am going to get a little bit rogue here and talk about the NBA because no one else on this panel likes to talk about the NBA, and it is a very hot topic right now on slate. You just had right now. There is a lot of
Logan. If you're going to do that, we got to ask Al Green, our producer, to open up his mic. Al,
yes,
you've been sending emails to the CEO, blasting us about the NBA. He's very sensitive to your feedback because I always get it from him yelling at me about what we did or didn't do. So for Jack, the CEO of this organization, I want you to open up your mic and weigh in, or forever hold your peace.
Yes, I know he's a big NBA guy too. And I know the rest of you do not like the NBA. However, there is some really good series going on, arguably just as action-packed and more impactful than the NHL. I know there's some big NHL series going on, but until Al gets on, if he gets on here, the one that is absolutely crazy right now that just ended last night is the Lakers completing their series against the Rockets 4-2. Now, the Rockets were one of those sneaky teams this year that were okay. I mean, Kevin Durant was not playing this entire series, so that really hurt them. They had to really just rely on Sengun, who is absolutely terrible. He's overrated as can be. However, the Lakers were down their two of their best players in Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. However, Austin Reeves did come back for the last 2 games, but they were having to be led by 41-year-old LeBron James. How many 41-year-olds are in the NHL right now playing at that high of a level? Just came off 28-point performance at 41 years old to complete the series win, 4-2. He was absolutely dominant the whole series. Another series that is going down to the wire that I did not expect whatsoever is the Detroit Pistons and the Orlando Magic. Now, the Detroit Pistons are coming off their best season to date. They are led by one of the best young players in the league in Cade Cunningham, and they were down in this series 3-1, and now they stormed back 3-3. The Orlando Magic had to fight just to get into the playoffs. They had to win the play-in game against the Charlotte Hornets to get in. It's been a great series, tied 3-3. It's going to be returning back to Detroit for the Game 7. Another one that's going to Game 7 is the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. This is not one I expected whatsoever. It's a series that I thought was going to be a clean 4-1 kind of gentleman's sweep. Boston is another year where they are absolutely dominant, even without Jason Tatum for most of the year. So I do think that they're still going to end up winning. However, that series came down to the wire more than I expected. The Knicks were able to kind of withstand the Atlanta Hawks having a little bit of life to them. They completed their series win yesterday, 140-89. They won the series 4-2. They're another one of those teams that can always do some damage in the Eastern Conference side, but I don't expect them to be doing much. You got the Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors. Now, this series is also tied 3-3. I don't know if you're getting a little bit of a kind of a coherence here, fellas. There is a lot of 3-3 series here. This is a lot of tight races. This is why the NBA sometimes can be more entertaining than the NHL playoffs. I don't know. Call me crazy here. Especially, I mean, there's Game 7s as well. Everyone wants to talk about how in hockey there's Game 7s. There's a lot of Game 7s. We're only in the first round, and we're already going to see 3 Game 7s. That is insane. Another reason why that's insane is you have upsets already, and that's Minnesota beating the Timberwolves 4-2. Now, most people kind of just assumed that the Nuggets were going to win in the opening round. However, they did not. Timberwolves were able to kind of complete a dominant series win, 4-2. Nikola Jokic could never really get comfortable in this series, and they were able to move on. And honestly, I thought after the opening win that Denver had that the Timberwolves were out to lunch. They were going to be way over their heads this series. However, they were not. That's been a pretty good rivalry over the past couple years, especially in the NBA playoffs. Is Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've always seemed to face each other. So the fact that they face each other in the opening round and Denver was not able to withstand the Timberwolves, it was very interesting. So I don't know. I think that this NBA playoffs, it's filled with teams that really should not be in the positions they are. I mean, I really didn't think the Raptors were going to be tied with the Cavaliers at this point, 3-3. I didn't think that the Magic were going to be tied 3-3, and I certainly didn't think the 76ers were going to be in a position to possibly beat the Celtics. As good as the Celtics are, I kind of always have them as one of my leading favorites. So I do think that the Celtics are still going to come out on top. With that being said, I doubt I'm ever going to be allowed to do this again on this show, so I'll go ahead and give you my finals picks. On the West, I was going to go with the Nuggets initially. However, they lost, so I can't even go with them anymore. I really like the Spurs. I do think I know it's early in their kind of dynasty, but I think between them and the Thunder, I think if they make that the Western Conference Finals, that's going to be heck of a series. It's definitely going to go 7. So you can go kind of the coin flip there. However, the Spurs kind of got the best of the Thunder throughout the regular season, but the Thunder are going to be rested. They did win. They did beat their series against the Suns 4-0. So I do think overall in a best of 7 series, I think I will have to go Oklahoma City Thunder in the West. And then the East, even though it doesn't look like right now, I think I'm still going to go with the Boston Celtics. I think that they're the most complete team. They were the whole year. I think they would be able to Detroit was number 1 on the East in the regular season. However, the Celtics, I think, are still the better team. They have the best duo in the league. So I think it's going to be the Celtics versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that's going to be a heck of a series. It's certainly going to go seven games. Going to be back and forth. I think overall, I think I go with the Boston Celtics. It's really hard to two-peat in the NBA, and the Thunder are coming off their finals win last year. So I think I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics beating the Oklahoma City Thunder in a best-of-7 series. It's certainly going to be a series to watch, even from you gentlemen who are known NBA haters. But that's my rant for the NBA. We'll now get on. We'll go back to the NHL. I'm sure you gentlemen are.
Hey, Logan, can I throw a tidbit in here?
Yeah, of course.
I'm rooting for the 7 and 8 seed to win their series in the East to totally blow this thing up. That would be hilarious. That would prove that the regular season doesn't mean squat.
No, yeah, it really.
I'm calling for whoever is it, the Magic and the
Raptors.
Who the 7 seed is. The
You got-
Magic
you
and
got-
the Sixers.
You got
in
the
the
Sixers.
Why don't we get Al Green to weigh in here? Al, you're a big NBA fan, and why don't you weigh in? Give us your analysis. We just heard a 20-minute analysis rant by Logan here. You might as well weigh in, Al.
Are we back on now?
I'm not sure.
We're back on.
Al muted our mics.
Look, I don't hate the NBA. I just don't like the way the game has evolved to, drive and dish for threes, and everyone's on the perimeter shooting threes and defending
ISOs.
threes,
Yeah.
leaving it open for these uncontested layups and dunks and this kind of stuff. I just don't like the game. It's like the league.
Uh-oh.
Al muted you.
Can we move on so we don't have to go through this? How's he muting everybody?
We have
Al, I want my
sports,
hat back.
Now he
sports,
just took you off-
sports censorship.
Now he took you. He threw you off the set.
This is like Al is the sports Nazi. It's not the soup Nazi.
It's like this is what I learned in the DC GOP with the chairman Patrick Mara, right? He who controls the mic on the Zoom call is in control of everything. They just cut you off. Like they don't like what I say. They cut off my mic and then they just throw me out of the meeting.
Saxman's running for Ward 2 chairman of Godzilla Wins now.
Unbelievable.
Logan might be running solo here.
Taking a page out of Patrick Mara's book.
Logan with another soliloquy about the NBA.
He deleted his feed. Oh my God.
Oh my God,
Al,
I love the NBA. The NBA is my favorite sport of all time. Michael Jordan is a golden god. LeBron has great shoes.
Yeah, I have always. Hey, with the
A high school
performance
education is perfectly legitimate.
He deleted. He actually deleted Saxman from the chat from the show. I've never seen this.
Hey, so you started hating on the NBA. Well,
It's just.
no, I mean, yeah, the NBA also obviously has its faults. I mean, it's not a perfect league.
What are you
Logan,
talking
we
about?
can't
It's-
lose you next. Stop.
What are we talking about? It's absolutely perfect. There is no flaw with the NBA. It is wonderful in every single respect. How dare you
cannot-
say anything other than that, Logan Powell?
You cannot deny the excitement some of these series are providing. I mean, no one.
I
could
won't. I won't
imagine-
deny it. I'm not going to deny anything.
No one could have imagined the
I'm not saying a
Orlando
damn word till we get to hockey.
the Orlando Magic tied with the Detroit Pistons 3-3 right now.
Can somebody look? I don't follow the NBA, but
Yes.
can you say, how does
Brendan
a
is
play-
lawyered up.
How does
He's
a-
like, I'm
How does the
pleading the
playoff
fifth.
team get? How do the Hawks in the playoffs get beat by 50 points? Like, how is that humanly possible?
I mean, the Hawks. I
They
mean,
get beat
okay,
by 50.
the Hawks have always been like a team where, like, well, one, the reason why they got blown out by 50 is because they had 3 players score over. They only had 4 players score over 10 points. One person in 20-point figures, and that was at 21 with Jalen Johnson. And the Knicks just had pretty much an offensive explosion. I mean, they had multiple guys that had really good offensive nights, and also the Hawks have always just been. They've kind of been stuck in this purgatory or very mid for the past 5 years, where like. I don't know if it's still the case, but I know that at the end of last year and for a lot of this year, that for their franchise record, career record in the franchise, they were perfectly at 500. And every single year for the past about 5 years, they have ended at about 42 and 42. I don't know how they do it, but they are pretty much the definition of mid. They are good for 1 week, terrible the next week, and then they always end up kind of balancing it out at the end. And I really don't even know how they made it in the playoffs this year without they traded Trae Young in the middle of the season to the Wizards. They sent him to freaking purgatory. That's rough on Trae. But other than that, I mean, yeah, the Knicks were just a better team all around. I mean, they're pretty much becoming a consistent NBA playoff contenders every single year. I don't know if they'll ever be able to get over the hump. I don't think it's this year's their year, but overall that was a pretty good series. I mean, the Hawks had a little bit of fight at the beginning of the series that kind of surprised me, but yeah.
Is this segment over yet?
Hey,
this wasn't even on the run sheet. Come on.
This was a secret for me, your son Jack John.
You just went rogue. Okay, yeah. You had your NBA fun. We don't care. What's next?
Next, NHL. This is Joel's time to shine. What's you got? Okay, let's see here. Colorado swept the Kings 4-0. That was kind of to be expected. You got Minnesota Wild defeating the Dallas Stars 4-2.
Okay, we picked that. Why don't we go faster because we're out of time, right? We're just running short, right? A lot of us picked the Wild over the Stars. I did. That was a surprise to a lot of people. This is a very dangerous team. The Flyers are a dangerous team. Pick those over Pittsburgh. They're nobody wants to play them. I tell you, the other team that I'm telling you guys, Anaheim is going to win this series against Colorado. I have no doubt in my mind they're going to win all 3 home games. They're going to steal a game in Denver. This is a dangerous team. Now that they're playing defense, they score, they're fast. They've got the perfect mix of veterans and young people. They have depth, they have speed. They struggled a little bit down the stretch, but they've been playing their best hockey right now. Look for teams that are playing their best hockey right now. I was very disappointed in the Mammoth yesterday. I bet them at home. They got blown out, so didn't win that game. But I tell you what, all these overtime games, double overtime games, have you ever seen a more exciting hockey playoffs than we've had so far in 2026, guys? It's been unbelievable.
That Montreal Tampa Bay series is a keeper, man. That's the one series that's gone 7. And just when you think you got to figure it out on who's going to win the series, like I thought, I saw no way the Canadians are losing at home in a game 6, and it happened. And now we got a game 7, and all bets are off, man. Here we go. Mano a mano tomorrow. Montreal at Tampa Bay.
Let's get our picks in for that.
Yeah.
Logan?
We'll start with tomorrow's games. John, go and start with your picks for tomorrow's games and specifically, and then if you have updated Stanley Cup picks as well, we can go since the first round.
Go ahead. I mean, I'll go with the one game. Why don't we go here game by game? I don't know how much time we have, but
we're picking this up in the second hour anyway.
Right. The big game tomorrow, obviously, as Coach said, is the 7th game. It's back in Tampa Bay. Montreal had a hell of a shot to close this thing out. I really like the Canadians all season, but I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay at home. Somehow they got to squeak this win out in overtime. Canadians played their hearts out. They played great defense. They had some shots that if they fall, they would have eliminated Tampa last night. It's a great series, only one that's gone to 7, but I gotta favor the Lightning at home. Veteran team, has the battle scars, been there, done that. And I think when you lose a game at home like Montreal did, it really sucks the blood out of your veins. And they played their hearts out last night. They could have wrapped this thing up. They couldn't do it. Now they got to fly to Tampa. Good luck winning that. I like the Lightning tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Sorry.
Got a pair of game 1s, and then the game 7 tomorrow. You have Canadians Lightning tomorrow, and then Wild Avalanche for game one tomorrow, and then today Flyers Hurricanes for game one. Brendan, what's your picks for those?
I am the hands down the biggest Carolina Hurricanes fan right now for obvious reasons. I think they're going to absolutely dominate the Flyers this series. Let's be honest, the Penguins were not that great this year. They had flashes, but they really had no business being there, and it showed in the end. I think Hurricanes win this series in 5, if I'm being honest. For tomorrow, like Coach Vince said, between Tampa and Montreal, all bets are off. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay just simply because they are at home. And I also like, Minnesota and Colorado is going to be tough. I haven't made up my mind on that one yet. I'm going to go Minnesota just to have a little fun with that one.
Dan, what's your picks? And we'll start with the Flyers here.
I'll go with Statman and say I think Carolina is gonna handle that. I like Tampa Bay as well. More veteran-laden team playing at home. I think when you lose a game 6 at home in overtime, and you have the chance to close it out, I think that's really deflating to have to go on the road to play a game 7 against a team that has some Stanley Cup pedigree. So I'd say the Lightning win that game. You know, maybe the Canadians are on the rise. They'll be in the mix next year, but I think it maybe just a year too early still for them. I can't pick against the Avalanche. I think they're just too stacked. The Wild, great story, but they got the Avalanche have a ton of firepower.
I like the Wild in game 1. I'm going to
okay.
bet Minnesota in game 1. Same thing with the Avalanche. They lost their last 4 game 1. They get a little complacent. They read their press clippings. This Wild team, they're freaking good, guys. I mean, you watch them play. There's not a weakness on this team. They got a great balance. They got great lines. They got veterans. They got depth. They got a goalie now that's playing very well. I'm not sure if they can win this series. I knew they were going to be Dallas, but I think they go into Denver, steal that first game.
It's just a very exciting sport on the whole. I mean, this is why I refer to it as basketball on ice.
Do you watch it? Do you see any scenario where Minnesota and Colorado does not go 7? This just feels like a 7-game series. I think
so. Yeah, I mean it's 6 or 7. I know Minnesota is going to win some of these games, and Colorado they look great when they feel like playing great, and then sometimes they just don't. They come out flat. They're overconfident. I don't know what it is, but I think that this is going to be a dogfight. Look, Minnesota had a tough draw, but they got Dallas out of the way. Right now they're playing on house money. This is why they're so dangerous right now. But I agree with you, Brendan, on Carolina. I think the Flyers have taken this thing as far as it's going to go, and I think they get beaten 5 or 6 games, probably 5.
I'm hoping 4. The sooner Philadelphia gets eliminated, the better for all of us.
But I want you guys. I'm telling you guys, you're everybody's counting out the Ducks. This is not the Kings, right? And by the way, the Kings played their heart out in those 2 games in Colorado. I mean, they played the best hockey they've played. So, they got swept, but 3 of those games were very, very close. But this Anaheim team, they're at home, they're very good. They're unbeatable at home because that place goes bat crap crazy in there. I don't know what they call it. The
Honda Center.
Yeah, the Honda Center, the Ponders. I mean, that's going to be that series. I love Anaheim.
Yeah, I think overall, I mean, some crazy games, some crazy series in the opening, and I think this deciding game tomorrow against the Canadians Lightning is going to be absolutely jam packed. I think it's going to be much watch TV. I do not know much about Montreal. However, I have family in Tampa, so they keep me updated with the Lightning. I think I'm going to go with the Lightning to close out in Game 7. I think at home, you cannot go wrong with them at home. I know they go to every single game, so I know that place is going to be rocking. And then the opening games, the first one today, Flyers and Hurricanes. I'm going to go with the Hurricanes. Just out of sight. I can't pick the Flyers Game 1. They beat the Penguins. I can't do that. That's just wrong to do that. And then the other game one tomorrow, Wild and Avalanche. I mean, the Avalanche have been one of the best teams this year, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that the Avalanche will be able to take care of that series. I think in 6. So I'm gonna go with them to open the series with a win. With that being said, we're gonna hop off here for the first hour. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to Godzilla Wins. I'm your host, Logan Powell, Vince Mayako, Brandon Statler, John Fredericks, and Dan Hobgood. We'll be back in a couple minutes for the second hour.
West Virginia Sports Nation gives you a top-of-the-mountain view of the Mountaineers sports landscape. See what's happening in all the sports, far beyond football, basketball, and baseball. Gymnastics, track and field, rowing, swimming and diving, golf, volleyball, tennis. More sports, more stories. If the Mountaineers play the game, WVSportsNation.com has it covered. Up-to-date and insightful articles written by Mountaineers for Mountaineers Nation. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. Right now, download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play and get the entire Mountaineers sports world in the palm of your hand. Right now, get notified when new stories drop about your favorite Mountaineers teams and athletes. Download the WV Sports Nation app right now. Get updates on next level Mountaineers like Weatherholt and Joe Mazzulla. All that and more right in your pocket right now. Download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Download the app right now.
The best part about waking up in the morning is a great cup of coffee, and I get this every day with my 1775 coffee. It's rich, it's bold, best tasting coffee I've ever had. Single origin, farmed in Bolivia, 7,000 feet. It's always fresh, roasted daily. This is the best coffee you're ever going to get. Go to 1775coffee.com, 1775coffee.com. Promo code Godzilla, 10% off. It's going to make your day every day.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Order online fast and save $45. Your kit with prescriptions to treat common and life-saving illnesses is rushed to your door. Visit twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla.
John Frederick.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild,
They want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women's sports. They're going to open up their border.
Trump hits the speed dial.
Thank you for calling in on such short notice.
You came first, John.
Wake up with the John Frederick Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive J-Fred radio network, and all across the social.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
John Fredericks, he's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby.
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh yeah,
for entertainment purposes only.
Welcome back to Godzilla Wins. This is the second hour. I'm your host, Logan Powell, alongside head coach for Taft College Baseball, Vince Mayako, W Sports Nation writer, Brendan Statler, John Fredericks, and Dan Hobgood. I hope everyone's doing well on this Saturday morning. This is the second hour Godzilla Wins. Now, my fault. We missed an ad read at the later stages of the first hour. John, you want to go ahead and talk to the
Listen, I'm
audience?
fired up. I'm really fired up about Colonial Downs opening in New Kent. I mean, it is May 1st. We opened June 16th. We got the longest meet we've ever had. Thoroughbred racing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, post time 12:30 in the afternoon. I got my suite there. Ann and I are going to be there. We're going to take our horse from Churchill Downs there. He's going to be racing. I'll keep you posted in that. But that is one of the best experiences you're ever going to have. I want you to mark it on your calendar starting on Thursday, the second Thursday in June, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, post time 12:30, Colonial Downs. The weather is going to be fabulous. It's one of the greatest, most beautiful racetracks in the country. And you just don't want to miss it. Go to colonialdowns.com, colonialdowns.com. A lot of those weeks we'll have our suite there. We're going to invite a lot of people. It's going to be fun. But you know what? The other thing is you got Rosie's Casinos downstairs. That's fantastic. And you got them all over Virginia. Just go to rosiesgaming.com, rosiesgaming.com. Bigger jackpots, bigger winnings, have fun, win money. Why do you win more money? Lowest takeout in the country. That's what the Virginia General Assembly did. So when you put $1 in, you're going to get the highest takeout of any casino in the United States. That's what they've done. It's going to be a lot of fun. And racing there, we got great trainers, horses. It's a meet goes from the middle of June all the way to the first week in September. We're going to have a lot of fun. Go to colonialdowns.com.
Hey, John. Also, the Virginia Derby winner of this year, Incredible, in today's field.
That's right.
So should we, what do you think?
I don't think he can compete.
Well, all right.
I don't think he can compete with this.
With that said, I think I'll put some money on Incredible.
Yeah, I don't think he can compete. I mean, that was a fluke win that he had, I thought, at the Derby. I didn't bet him, so I'm a little bit stubborn. So I didn't bet him there. I'm not betting him today. This is really one of the best fields that we've had, because to your point, Vince, it's wide open.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really the standout here. There's a lot of good horses. Like if 8 horses were to win, about 8 of them, I wouldn't be shocked. There's not like the overwhelming favorite. So it should be a great race.
Yeah.
I agree. Right. Kept it short and sweet. That's good. Let's go ahead and get back on our NHL topic. I know we did not go too in depth with the NHL playoffs so far. We gave our picks. One storyline that I thought was very interesting, as someone who's not a huge NHL fan, is that one of the new teams, I think the new expansion team, like recently this year, was hold on, I gotta find was Colorado, and the Mammoth. Yeah, the Mammoth. I'm not even Utah. I think Utah Mammoth. They are the newest expansion team, and they took Vegas to the brink. I know Vegas ended up winning 4-2, but those are 2 newer teams. I know Vegas is a newish team as well. And so NHL adding on to the league with expansion teams, and one of them already making the playoffs and having a pretty decent showing. So, Brendan, what does that show to the league and also Mammoth as a whole, that they were able to have a pretty good showing in their initial playoff series?
Yeah, I don't know if the Mammoth are technically considered an expansion team, because they were the Arizona Coyotes a couple years ago, and they just relocated. But it might be one of those weird things, kind of like you had with the Cleveland Browns in the NFL, to where the Ravens were considered an expansion. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they found really instant success after leaving Arizona. This is only their second season in Utah, I believe, because last year they were under the name Utah Hockey Club, didn't have a name yet. But instantly, as soon as they went to Utah, you saw improvement. I don't know if it's just coincidental or, what that's really all about, but it's exciting that hockey has taken off in these areas that 10 years ago, you would have never thought hockey would last in Vegas or Utah, even Seattle. A lot of these newer teams have found success almost right away. I mean, Vegas, when they came in the league, I believe it was 8 years ago, they actually went to the Stanley Cup final and lost to the Washington Capitals. So it's exciting to see how hockey has expanded to these different cities, how big it has gotten, even in the southern states, even though some of these teams have been around for a while. It's amazing to see how hockey has transformed and how popular it has become. And, it's even more exciting to see these newer teams find instant success and make it to the playoffs. And, in some cases have deep runs into the playoffs.
I have a bit of an answer here for everybody about the Utah Mammoth. Let's see here. The franchise joined the league as an expansion team for the 2024-25 season in lieu of an expansion draft to stock the new team. The owner, Ryan Smith, acquired the hockey assets, players, coaching staff, and draft picks of the Coyotes, which suspended operations at the same time.
Okay, so it's kind of the same thing what happened with the Cleveland Browns moving to Baltimore. And
yeah, I mean, it's not really an expansion team. I mean,
yeah.
the whole Phoenix thing was a disaster.
Right.
It was a disaster. I mean, the fans didn't take to it. They didn't like it. They didn't draw very well. So
they were playing at ASU's arena, John. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
Salt Lake City sounds like a great hockey town. I mean, that would be a great spot.
I think and like Brendan said, 8 years ago, expansion team Golden Knights Vegas make it to the finals, and I think they took the Caps to 7 games, right? I mean, it was a tough series.
I think it was
6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7. I mean, it was they held their own against the Caps.
Yeah, it was a tough series, but why is it taken off? More young kids are playing hockey. I mean, it all stems back to what you play as you're younger and what you get involved in, and that translates. I think all around the South now, you got all these hockey clubs springing up. When kids get up early to get on the ice because they need ice time. They're getting up. I remember when I was, when I coached basketball, I had some kids playing hockey, and I don't know, they'd get up for a club. They'd have to get up at 4 a.m. to go get hockey time or something, and then they come to practice with their tongues dragging out. I cut 2 of my hockey players because I'm like, you can't serve 2 masters. You play hockey or basketball. Pick one, But I think a lot of kids are playing it, and I think that's part of it. But the league has got it figured out. I mean, they just got the whole thing figured out. As far as the parity is concerned, the salary cap, the draft, it's the best run league in professional athletics,
hands down,
bar none.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think also too, John, is hockey is truly a global sport now. Truly is. It's global. I mean, you look at the Eastern European countries, you got players, obviously players from Germany, France. I mean, you got players from all over the world playing hockey, and it's really turned into a global sport. Yeah, and you brought up the point with Utah and obviously Vegas being an expansion team and ultimately end up winning a Stanley Cup, I think 3 or 4 years after that. And then in year 2, the Seattle Kraken made the playoffs last year. So I think the way, in other sports, you got to pay your dues. You got to sit around and be a perennial loser for 10, 15 years before you get a taste of postseason play. But how do you grow a fan base that way? So the NHL has said, hey, let's have more players in the pool, less players that each franchise can protect, and make this team relevant right off the bat so we can develop that new fan base and really grow the sport. And I'm telling you, that's a smart business move right there.
The other thing that helps them is they're not changing the game.
No.
I mean, they're not like getting, if you shoot from a certain point, you get, 2 goals or all the nonsense that's been going on in these other sports. They don't change the game. It's the same game, right? There's no, baseball with pitch clocks and all this stuff is changing, bigger bases, always trying to change things. They don't change anything, right? You got to get the puck in the net. It's simple.
Yeah, that's probably the only sports league you could say that about, because that's the one thing, as much as I like the NFL, that's the one thing that drives me nuts about the NFL. It seems like there's some major rule change every year. Whether kickoff rule, it's like the game's already good. Why do we have to have changes like this every year? Hockey, the NHL really hasn't changed a lot in the last 15 years. It really hasn't. The last major change I remember them making was, 2 changes. Was if you get your helmet knocked off, you have to either put it back on or go back to the bench. And they did the the hybrid icing rule where you no longer have to go back and touch the puck. Other than those two rules, it's pretty much stayed the same.
And I'm going to date myself too, Brendan. Before your era, the 2-line pass was not allowed, and they got rid of that, and it really helped open up the game as well too. When in the old days, when you could only pass the puck one line, it really created more of a defensive oriented style of hockey. But when they eliminated that, it opened up the ice, and it really turned it into a more of an athletic type of sport, which we all know that. I mean, I think the greatest athletes in the world play ice hockey.
And the 3-on-3 overtime is another amazing change that they made. I think the 3-on-3 overtime is amazing.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that that I think if you win, you get 2 points. If you don't win, you get nothing. I don't like the fact that, because people now just play for ties to get the 1 point, and it becomes meaningless. As a gambler, I want, a tie is like kissing my sister, right? I want closure. I want to either win the bet, lose the bet. But explain to our audience, Vince, what the old 2-pass rule was and how that changed.
Well, see if I can equate this. But if you have it in your end of the ice, you cannot pass it past the midway point, the red line, I guess it would be, right. The red line. And I think they did that. Was that in the Wayne Gretzky era? I believe they changed that. I don't quite remember with the timing of that, but it really changed the game immensely. I mean, you can imagine, if you can only pass the puck one line, that's going to really slow down the pace of the game. But when they changed that, it really brought the game. Wow, now you're seeing these great athletes fly all over the ice. And boom, you could literally have a goalkeeper pass the puck, past the red line, the center line, and boom, you're off to the races. You talk about a fast break, 1-on-0, me against the goalkeeper. But that was probably one of the better changes that the NHL made.
Well, Coach, they had to change it in the Gretzky era because Gretzky was notorious for cherry picking, standing at the halfway point and by himself waiting for the puck. They had to change it.
Probably was playing.
Okay, don't be ripping on my guy.
Oh, I'm not ripping on him. He was great.
The second best hockey player of all time.
Allegiance, Yager allegiance. Okay, let's get away.
Yager,
help me out here. Let's get away from this Pittsburgh.
Look, he's got Jag in his name.
I really think about the Edmonton Oilers and the greatest hockey player in the history of the game, Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky was great.
Other than Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, behind Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby.
There we go.
I think the only, you can't dispute that he's the greatest of all time. But he did play. What did he play? I think in the 70s, the 60s,
80s. You're thinking of Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe. He was good too. Gretzky. He did. The competition was just so much different back then. But. No, I think one storyline that if we're talking like greatest of all time, currently McDavid's probably in that conversation when he retires, be top 10 all time. However,
has to win at least one cup.
Yeah. He has not had any playoff success whatsoever. And
I'd get out of Edmonton if I were he.
Yeah, once again, Edmonton lost in the first round. Is that a knock on him? Is that a knock on Edmonton? John, what do you think? It's going to impact McDavid's legacy greater than what people think, or is it not really his fault considering the team Edmonton has put around him consistently?
He's one guy. You need a whole team. You need a goalie. You need a culture. Edmonton has been there. They've gotten deep in the playoffs. They can't pull off the cup. I don't really think that has anything to do with where he'll end up in hockey fame. You really can't blame him for the franchise. What he's taken the team to the Cup Finals twice, so didn't have a chance to win those. But he's still Connor McDavid. I don't think it has an impact on him, no more than teams in baseball. There's Hall of Famers that never won a World Series. Craig Biggio, my guy, never won a
Dan Marino
World Series. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. Got in 2 of them. Both of them got blown out.
Barry Sanders, for that matter.
Barry Sanders. I just don't think it matters But I'm not sure if this is on the run sheet, but there's another gambling scandal in college football, and this thing is huge. It is huge because it's impacting a Big 12 team. They have no quarterback now. This thing, Vince, you called it. This thing is a can of worms. It's not going away. It seems to be getting worse. We don't even know. I don't even think a fraction of what is out there. But Texas Tech gets a quarterback, right? Pay him all this money. Lawsuits going on with the other team because we didn't honor his contract, so they're suing him. And then we find out he's involved in his gambling scandal. And according to NCAA rules, he ain't going to be able to play. Vince.
Yeah, thought that Texas Tech would be the best team that money could buy, and that may go by the wayside if they don't have a quarterback. They may have to run the old single wing formation this fall. Yeah, it's, and I think it's like you said, John. We've just touched the tip of the iceberg here. I mean, the amount of young people, and maybe Logan and Brendan can relate to this, but the amount of young people that are gambling on their phone, DraftKings, FanDuel, all MGM, all the different sites that are out there with these prop bets and all this kind of stuff that's going on is concerning. It's concerning, very concerning. And not just for the integrity of the sport, but for the individual himself or herself.
Yeah, so if the audience is unaware, Brendan Sorsby, the number one transfer quarterback, the number one player in the transfer portal, Texas Tech, paid him a boatload of money. They have one of, if not the best rosters in the college football. Now, Brendan Sorsby looks like he's going to be completely banned from college football forever. While he was in Indiana, he was betting on Indiana. He was only betting on them to win, but he was betting on Indiana while he was on the team. That's a huge no-no. And then when he was on Cincinnati, this is what you call a degenerate gambler. He would go to Cincinnati Reds games, and he would bet on each pitch if it's going to be a ball or a strike. Folks,
that is crazy.
If you're doing that, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. That is not
worse than Dr. Farthing in Dirty Work.
He was betting micro bet. They're called micro bets, where he was only doing maybe $1 or $2, or maybe even just 50 cents. However, he was doing it practically the whole game. And the biggest issue is when he was on Indiana. So, Brendan, what does this say about the future of sports betting and its landscape with not only sports as a whole, but college sports? Because most of these shows that are talking about this, these outlets that are writing about it, they can talk about it and talk bad about it, but 20 minutes later, their ad read is going to be for DraftKings. So what does it say about the future of college athletics?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that much is going to change, just simply because there is so much money tied up in these sports betting sites on the college athletics and professional athletics. So I don't see any more type of regulation, if you will, just because there's too much money involved in it. But it's baffling. And I feel like I say this every time we have one of these scandals. It baffles me that you have an athlete or a coach, whatever it is, that's getting paid this amount of money and making bets when they know they're not supposed to. I mean, this kid from Texas Tech getting paid a lot of money to play football there, and he throws it all away making bets at Indiana and I think you said Cincinnati Reds games and whatnot. I mean, if I was in that position, if I was making that kind of money, I would not visit any casino, any sports betting site. I would completely remove myself from that because it never ends well. It seems like you always get caught at some point. It's just it's not worth it. And I think we're going to continue to see more and more of this, unfortunately.
Brendan, I'll correct you on that. Unless he goes to Rosie's.
Unless he goes to Rosie's.
Hey, that's the best. Hey, only place to do it.
That's it. If you're going to do it at Rosie's.
For college athletics, they made and I think it's in the professional game too. You cannot bet on your team. It doesn't matter if you're betting on a win or a loss. You cannot do it. And that is what he was a freshman on Indiana. He was probably the second or third string quarterback, and he would bet on them to win. And it doesn't matter. You cannot do that. And the NCAA has known about this. They probably have known about this going on a year now. I bet you Texas Tech knew about it too. The fact that he was placing hundreds of micro bets every single Reds game, going to the Reds games and sitting in the stands and placing micro bets every single game. I guarantee you the NCAA knew about it to a certain degree, and it just took them some time to build the case. And now for Texas Tech, it's unfortunate for Texas Tech because, yeah, they have a very good roster, but they can still, technically get a quarterback in the portal. However, that would be this whole like tampering and bad situation. So then if they do that, their head coach would get suspended for half the season and they would be fine. I think I'm not sure the exact, don't quote me, I'm $5 or $10 million. Now Texas Tech, they might just do that because they're desperate and they already have so much money. But John, you like to gamble, but you do it smartly, and you don't do it. You're not placing these micro bets where there's not even any enjoyment in it whatsoever. So, is it the athlete's fault? Is it the NCAA's fault for having so much, kind of like involvement with these betting sites? Like, whose fault do you blame?
All the above.
All the
NCAA
above.
is a joke. The whole NCAA is a joke, right? It's a feckless organization. They don't enforce anything. Everything is subjective. It's a total clown show, and we all know it. NIL's changed everything, but you go to a game. I don't care, college, basketball, hockey, whatever. All you see is banners: FanDuel, DraftKings, this one, MGM Grand, all the ads encouraging gambling. Look, I've got a bunch of the apps. I do it every day. I go to the kiosk, but I'm not a ball player, right? I'm not in college. And then when the NCAA said it's okay for student athletes to gamble, but not on their sport, which they since rescinded, was about the stupidest thing. And why do they do it? Because they're getting money. They're getting money from the gambling phone sites, from the apps. That's why they did it, right? They're beholden to them. Now they're getting all this money. And so, they allow that, which was insane. They have to rescind it. I told my son, right? Never, ever download an app, go to a gambling site, never, right? Because they know what you're doing. Everything is monitored now at this level, especially when you're playing, high-level D1 athlete. They monitor everything. The fact that you had to tell me the NCAA didn't know this guy had a gambling problem, didn't know that he was betting on football while he was on the team, it's like, that's crazy. But they let it go. And then, the whole thing with Texas Tech. He signs a contract, breaks the contract, takes the money, goes to Texas Tech. Now he's getting sued. Contracts don't matter. Nothing matters to these people. Vince, the whole thing is a mess.
Spot on, John. Spot on.
Vince, at the JUCO level, do these players that your players that you have, and they're looking to go to a Division I or Division II school, do you talk to them about NIL opportunities? Do you discuss like these ramifications, like betting online and what it can do for your future? Like, what do you when you're in the room with them? Like, what do you? You don't need to get personal, but what are some like overall just like guidelines you talk to them about?
I'll be honest. That's a great question, Logan. I'll be honest. I've been kind of naive with this whole thing, thinking, okay, maybe this has happened with professional athletes, elite D1 athletes. But as a coach, and probably the head coach, sometimes you're the last person to find out about your team when you're the head coach. The assistant coaches are the ones, they're the ones that have the finger to the pulse, and they have a pretty good idea of what's going on. And then that coach relays the information to me. I think that's typical for most college programs. But you do hear little idle chatter amongst the players if you're in the batting cages, like, hey, who do you got in tonight's Montreal Tampa Bay game? And these guys, they know what's going on. Even at the JUCO level, you have kids that are, obviously on their phone now. You're hoping they're not, putting away their entire gambling, their entire college finances on the Tampa Bay Montreal game, but it is happening, no question about it. And especially at a young age, when you're talking the first couple of years of college, you're talking anybody from probably 17 to 20 years of age. And a lot of time the term you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think myself and John can relate to that a little bit. But when you're young, you become more impressionable. When you have success betting, the temptation is there to keep doing it, and that's how an addiction can foster. And there's no question about it. Gambling can become addicted, just like alcohol, just like drugs, just like pornography, just like anything. And when kids taste a certain, success level on winning a bet, the temptation is, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to make more money. And then they lose, and they allow that was a fluke. I'm going to recoup my earnings on this next bet, and it spirals out of control.
Yeah, I mean, you really, for anyone, you can't go into sports betting looking to get rich. It's very unlikely that you'll get rich off sports betting. The odds are not in your favor, and especially if you're an athlete, you just better to just stay away from it, even if you're staying away, even if you're not betting on athletics. Dan, do you have any insight?
Well, I was just going to ask, with everything going on with sports gambling right now, and I hope I'm not opening up too big of a can of worms here. What impact does this have on what everybody thinks about the most notorious sports gambler, I guess, of all time, the Pete Rose and the Pete Rose situation? Does what's happening now change your thoughts about whether the punishment was too severe enough for him from MLB?
If I can jump in there real quick on that one, Dan. I think Rose eventually, 15 years after the fact or 20 years, where he finally admitted that he had betted, but only on Cincinnati Red games to win. Right. But that's great in theory. And it sounds like this quarterback at Cincinnati who transfers to Texas Tech was doing similar things, betting on his team to win. But what about the game you don't bet on? So you're saying, okay, it's okay to bet if we win, but we're playing Kansas State in Manhattan next week. I'm not going to bet on that game. So essentially you're saying,
I'm forfeiting.
and Rose the same way. If Pete Rose did not bet on any of his games, but he was only betting when he thought they would win, that's a huge issue, right? I would agree. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because you nailed it. I only bet on my team to win, but what about the games you didn't bet?
Right.
Obviously, you thought they were going to lose.
Exactly.
And then maybe somebody else bet the team. It's just bad. I mean,
juju, bad juju.
Bad juju. That's why I tell you guys that have football teams or favorite teams, never bet against your team. I don't care if it's at $5. Just don't do it. It's bad juju.
I forgot to bet the Flyers in Game 6.
17 games. I bet $50 on the Titans on the line every game. I lose 12 of them. Whatever, right? I'm not going to bet against them. It's my team. I don't care, right? But
better than Titans.
Yes or no? Baseball's punishment for Pete Rose right on the money? Too severe or not?
No, I think it was right.
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. It is the career.
My hot dog's done.
Career lead.
You can't gamble on sport. You either have a rule or you don't. I don't understand today's society. Like you have a rule and it doesn't matter.
Well,
I play by the rules. You have a rule. You follow the rule, or why have the rule? It says on every clubhouse, no gambling allowed. That means no gambling allowed, or bad things will happen, like you don't get in the Hall of Fame. Right.
And here's another thing, too. I think we could all admit to this. If Rose had been honest from the beginning, he would be in the Hall of Fame. I think the lie exceeds the crime.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think there should have been some punishment for Rose, but I don't like the rule of the lifetime punishment. It's just I think that maybe it should have been delayed, him getting into the Hall of Fame, but I think it's just a shame that he's not alive to see him possibly.
If you don't have a lifetime punishment and has no teeth, okay? And think about what you guys are saying now. You younger guys, think about what you're saying. Here's what you're saying. Well, Pete Rose gambled when nobody else did. We got a lifetime ban, but then now everybody else is gambling and they're all breaking the rules. So therefore, we're going to excuse him for breaking the rule first. I mean, that's basically the logic here. It's like That is a.
No, I'm saying that I think the
super
rules should have been
millennial
lifetime.
logic of the world.
Right.
Our world, me and Vince, let me tell you what our world is. There's a rule. You follow it. You break it, there's consequences. It's simple. And you guys are trying to excuse Pete Rose now because other guys are worse. That's like, what? That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same idea when it comes to like the steroid era in baseball. I mean,
so that's a no from you, John.
Hey, I agree there's rules, but I could say I disagree with the rule. But that doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's just I think
he's dead now. It ended up being a lifetime ban, whether he wanted it or not. Yeah, he's gone. So, yeah.
I think the Pete Rose conversation and like the betting, I think it's in the same realm of like the steroid era. I mean, guys like Barry Bonds are shamed for it. You can't even speak his name. But then you have guys like Alex Rodriguez, who was purely caught taking steroids, and it was still, oh, come back in the league. You're all right, A-Rod. Come back to the Yankees. We need you on the Yankees. So I think, and then you got current guys still that, oh my God, the guy, I can't think of his name right now on the pod, Fernando Tatis, openly steroids. He did have a suspension, but guess what? He's back. Why is Barry Bonds completely shunned, even though you take away the steroid era of his career? He still has a Hall of Fame career without the steroid era. So it's just, it goes both ways. There's always going to be someone who did it worse than the other. There's always going to be a first person to break the mold. However, I think it needs to stay consistent. If Barry Bonds is shunned, Alex Rodriguez should be shunned. Fernando Tatis should be shunned. If Pete Rose is shunned, Brandon Sorsby should be shunned and should not be drafted in the NFL. His football career should be over in the United States. If he wants to go to the CFL, he can go to the CFL. With that being said, we got.
Hey, Logan, I'm gonna
go ahead.
Say this. Trust me, there are players in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame who use performance-enhancing drugs. Mm-hmm. Guarantee you that. I could probably name 5 right off the top. I'm not going to name the names, but I can name
Barry
easily
Bonds should be in.
Absolutely, because guess what? He was hitting bombs off of Eric Gagne, who was doing the same stuff that Barry Bonds was. Okay, that whole era, you could probably count. It would be a very minimal amount of people that were not using performance-enhancing drugs.
Well, this is my thing. This is my thing with the whole Lance Armstrong thing. In a sport where everybody's juicing, well, okay, he's the best of everybody who's juicing.
Exactly. When they took Lance Armstrong's Tour de France titles away, they didn't replace it with the second place finisher because he was doing just as much as Lance Armstrong was. And so was the third place finisher.
If they're all juicing, Lance Armstrong is still the best cyclist.
Absolutely.
Did people really not know that Barry Bonds was using steroids when he was playing? He turned into a human bobblehead.
Yeah, his head turned into a watermelon.
It did. I'm just saying. There's no way that you didn't know.
All right, we got off on a huge tangent here. We do not need.
But it was entertaining, Logan.
Yes.
Next up, more NBA talk.
Logan, why did his head, Vince? Why did his head get so big?
He was juicing like crazy.
How's that make your head big?
It just.
And he was such a good player. It just went to his head.
It makes everything bigger, but what you want it to. I'll just say that.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Time for a wellness center read.
Well, get your emergency medical kit if your head is too big. I don't think it can help you with what Ben's talking about.
But they're working on it.
I've gone through everything in here. I've not found anything to help that. But I'm
Lord knows we've tried.
Yes, but it is for those older guys. Here's the good news: it's blue. It's blue. You probably recognize the color.
This episode will never air.
The NBA segment will never be heard.
But if
you just went off the rails quick.
All right, wellness company, John.
Blue is good. That's all. When you get to be older,
except when you vote,
blue becomes your favorite color. Let me just say that. Wellness company, right? If you don't have one of these medical emergency kits, like what the hell are you doing? Because it's great for you and your family. We never get sick. You guys are waiting for me to get sick. By the way, Dan, I'm going on vacation July 23rd. Just saying, I'm going to be gone for a week. So we got to get John Reed in.
Okay.
Remind me to do that. See if we can get Reed in. You guys can play WRVA radio for a week.
That's right.
Oh my God, this thing has gone off the rails.
Now with less hot dog talk. Yeah.
This is why I never get sick. Ann and I never get sick because you have the wellness company, right? And everything in here, the medical emergency kit. You need to get one, travel with it, keep it on you all the time. If you feel the sniffles coming on, you get that. You know, sometimes you get up and you feel, oh, I got a sore throat coming on, right? You've all been there. Here it comes, right? It's coming. Hey, open up your medical emergency kit, get it out of the drawer, get it out of your bag, open it up, read the guidebook, Z-Pack, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, everything is there. You get COVID, boom, that's out. Whatever it is, you're going to get rid of it, and it's going to be immediate. Even if you've got like, even if you got a bad flu or you got a virus going in. I think Ann the other day had a 2 weeks ago respiratory infection. Caught it right in the bud. Opened up the book. Have trouble breathing. Here it is. Take these 2 a day. Right there. This is the best thing you and your family can have. It's going to save you money, but the whole thing is you don't get sick because you can snap it in the bud. All you got to do is go to twc.health/Godzilla, twc.health/Godzilla, and you're good to go. 10% off, promo code Godzilla, 10% off. Every household should have a medical emergency kit. Get it now. Saxon's got it. Saxon's got 3 of them now. Didn't have any. Now he's got 3.
He's having to use it right now after the first hour. So
I know, right?
That may have been the best segue we've had in this show ever.
And based off how this episode is gone, I'm going to go ahead and run off another ad read. What wellness company can sure help you feel a lot better, but so can a good night's sleep, and that's exactly what you're going to get on a MyPillow. Now, listen, they moved to a new factory. They have a lot of old product. They have a lot of products in general that they do not necessarily want to move to their new warehouse. So, with that being said, they are offering can't speak right now, huge discounts on some closeout products. Now, you can save up to 80% off and free shipping on your entire order. That includes flannel sheets, sandals, hoodies, PJs, couch pillows, knitted hats, scarves, literally anything you can ask for. And I know Mother's Day is coming up, so that could be something great to get your mother. You know, they love couch pillows. They love pillows. They love blankets. So you could go to MyPillow and use code Godzilla to mypillow.com and get yourself free shipping and money back and 60-day money back guarantee with that code, and you'd be able to take advantage of this one-time sale that MyPillow is offering. And John, I know you have a very close relationship with MyPillow, and they are a very good company. And yeah, I think that our audience would be very well taken care of and would not be disappointed if they go to MyPillow.
They're great people. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla. You're gonna get everything right there, and 80% off. Got a great sale going. Also, you can give them a call, 800-854-0504, 800-854-0504, and I don't know if you got pillows. We got so many pillows in this house. Ann loves pillow. Every time I turn around, there's another pillow someplace. Vince, I gotta ask you this question because we've gone totally off the rails. This is just, how many pillows does Tammy put on your bed?
I believe there are 4 on each side of the bed, so a total of 8, and 6 of those 8 are my pillows.
Wow, that's good
right there. 8 must be the magic number. Like, I get in the bed, there's 8 pillows. Like first of all, it takes me 10 minutes to just dig through them to get. It's like, what do you need 8 pillows on your bed? But she fluffs them all up, and the cat's laying there. And she says to me the other day, I'm like, why are these pillows on the bed? Well, the cat likes that one. Well, then just put that one on the bed. No, he likes to put his head up against this one. So now we're like making the bed for the cat. This is stuff I got to deal with every
Sammy's
day.
living the good life over there.
Unbelievable.
Brendan Sorsby bet that you had 7, so he lost that one.
He bet the even.
I lost that one.
Hey, with MyPillow offering an 80% discount and free shipping, why not have 8 pillows? Am I right? I mean, it makes sense. There's no reason not to. 80% off, code Godzilla. Go and take advantage of it. Get yourself 10 pillows. Why not? Keep going. But we got to get back on the track here. I know we were talking about I don't even know what we're talking about. I don't know. But
I think you're talking about the Mets.
You do need to talk about the Mets, John.
Worst team money.
The New York Mamdanis.
They are terrible.
Oh my God.
I mean,
still beat the Pirates.
A lot of money is in that team, and I know that they have recently came off their 12-loss skid. However, this team is absolutely terrible. No team, no team has made the playoffs when losing 12 games in a row at any point in the season. So, with that being said, the Mets more than likely are not going to be making the playoffs this year, and they are one of those teams that put a lot of money into it. John, you brought it up. What is going on with the Mets right now?
They've had a locker room problem on this team, Vince, for years. There's something wrong inside this clubhouse. I don't know what it is. They spend the money. They bring veterans in. That doesn't work. They try to draft people. That doesn't work. They got Soto in. I know he's been hurt. But, one guy doesn't tank a team because he's out for a couple of games. There's something wrong with the culture of this club. And it's all the way down. It starts with the owner. It starts with Cohen, who's a jackass anyways, a hedge fund guy trying to buy all these players. I mean, the culture there is horrible. And I tell you what, I would just change the whole thing. I would just top down. It's almost like, Vince, remember when I think anybody's here old enough. Remember when the Lions were losing and the old lady Ford, right? She was 82 years old. She walked up after a game they had gotten blown out at home. She goes into the suites in the stadium with her little security guard. She's 82 years old. She knocks on every door, fires everybody right down the line. 15 people. You're fired. You're fired. Well, there's nobody there. She said, well, we can't get worse. And then they started a culture rebuild. 80 years old, she went in and fired them all. Knocked on the door. This is a true story. Knocked on every door, fired them all. One by one, here's your box. Security will be up in a minute. This is what the Mets have to do. There's something that's sick about their organization. I don't know what it is, but there's a sickness there.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think we know what the sickness is, and that's Cohen.
Yeah.
That's where it begins. And how do you fire an owner? You can't fire an owner.
Believe me, we tried.
I mean, the Cowboys. Well, if you're a Cowboys fan, I'm sure Jerry Jones is great back in the day, but come on. But if you're the Mets, I mean, the common denominator is the owner. I mean, their roster has been rehauled year after year. New manager, new general manager, all the different types of things. We're going to go in the draft. We're going to go free agency. We're going to trade. But they continue to lose year after year after year with one of the biggest salaries, the biggest payrolls in all of baseball. So look no further than the owner of the Mets.
Yeah, I don't know. He's turned that. He's willing to spend the money, but I don't know if he's spending the money on the right players. Now, the Mets are one of those high spender teams, but some other high spender teams are actually having really good years so far. The Yankees and the Dodgers are both leading their respective conferences. Brendan, what is it? Yeah, shocker. Does it look like another year where those top payroll teams, the Dodgers, the Yankees, are going to lead it all the way? Or, some other teams like the Atlanta Braves are also up there. They're not the biggest spenders. So is it going to be another year where it's the Dodgers and the Yankees and everyone else just falls in line?
God, I hope not. But it seems that way so far. Out of all those teams, I would love – you're right. The Atlanta Braves look really good this year. They would be my pick as a fan to win it all. I don't want to see the Dodgers win. I don't know if I could really badmouth the Yankees since we're running them in Philadelphia now. So just anybody but the Dodgers at this point. Please no more Dodgers.
Statman, remind me, how old are you?
26.
That's why as a fan he's saying he hopes the Braves win.
Yeah, that was
before your time, clearly. Yeah.
I was not hurt by that.
Yeah.
The toughest division
down south, they're all Braves fans, so it's okay.
Yeah. Coach, go into that.
Yeah, the toughest division in Major League Baseball is the National League Central.
Yep.
The last place team, the Pirates, have an over 500 record. So that tells you the strength of the NL Central. There are some divisions that are absolutely trash. Obviously, the NL East, the AL Central, the AL West. Clearly, the two best divisions in all of baseball are the American League East and the National League Central. So it's great to know there's good baseball in the Central Division of the National League. The problem is your beloved Pittsburgh Pirates are in that division, and that's some heavy slaying the Pirates are going to have to do if they play in the postseason. Right now, it looks like the Cubs and the Reds are definitely the class of the Central. And arguably, you could make the argument that they have as good a shot as anybody to take down the Dodgers this October.
Yeah, the Reds are playing really well.
One prediction I made is right early in the season, and I knew Milwaukee would crash. You can't keep trading your best players away and keep winning the division. I mean, eventually it catches up with you. But you're right. AL West is horrible. Seattle's not playing well. I think Sacramento could actually win that division. The Astros are disastrous. It's so bad. But look, as a fan, we've had a great run. It's been a great run, and things have caught up with us. The injuries, I mean, 4 of our starting pitchers are out. Our closer is out. Our shortstop is out. I mean, you can't compete when you don't have a pitcher, and your top 4 guys are all hurt. So, we had a good run. It's going to be tough now. The team's getting older, so we'll see what happens. Maybe they get if everybody comes back, they get back to 500, but it's not. They're not going to make the playoffs. Thing about April is you can't win it. You can't win a division in April, but you can lose it, and that's what the Astros have done. The Phillies are in the same situation, right? Great team, lots of money, not winning, and the Red Sox just fired everybody. Vince.
Yeah. That one came as a total shock. How they just absolutely cleaned house with the Red Sox, and obviously there had to be some feelings there between management and the manager and his staff, but to completely overhaul the Red Sox coaching staff is pretty eye opening. And
in April,
yeah, I know exactly.
Another team that, we talk about the Mets. Another team that's not performing well, kind of not succeeding expectations whatsoever, is the Philadelphia Phillies. I don't know. They are a team that also spends a lot of money, and they have a very passionate fan base, and they are just not doing well right now. They're 5-5 in their last 10. The pitching is just not where it needs to be, and like that rest of that division, really. The Nationals are not playing very well. The Mets are not playing well whatsoever. The Marlins somehow are second in the division at a 15-17 record. So
they have to be the surprise team so far.
I would say they're one of them.
Them and the Twins.
I would say that. I would also say the Reds, how well they're playing is a surprise, considering, who they're getting it from. Their rookie singer, pretty sure that's his last name, playing absolutely amazing. He's one of the best hitters in baseball. Let me just confirm his name for you. But yeah, he is one of the best hitters in baseball right now. The Red, I think they're going to lead the NL Central throughout this year.
Don't sleep on the Cardinals too, because they're 19-13, only a game out, and we've got the Mountaineer himself getting off to a great start with the St. Louis Cardinals. And I think everybody probably on this panel thought, the Cardinals, they're going to be a sub 500 team this year. But man, they're right in the thick of things, and they have as good a shot as anybody in the Central.
Yeah, Sal Stewart is the rookie for the Cincinnati Reds, currently leading the MLB in RBIs with 29, top 10 in home runs with 9, and hitting batting 271. Insane. But yeah, JG Weatherholt, he already owns the Pirates. He had an insane series against the Pirates, who they swept the Pirates. But yeah, JG Weatherholt, former Mountaineer, one of the best in college baseball, is playing out of his mind. Actually hit a leadoff home run off of Paul Skeens. He's actually rated as a top 5 second baseman in terms of WAR right now. Dan, it looks like you have.
I was just going to jump in and say we hadn't talked about the Vrabel situation, and that's obviously an ongoing story. But the word on the street is that the New England Patriots at least have a top candidate in mind if Vrabel doesn't survive all of this, and that happens to be none other than the latest addition to Sunday Night Football on NBC, one Michael Patrick Tomlin.
Great choice. Great choice.
That they may try to woo him away.
I don't think he survives this. Because look, I mean, your whole culture that you've created is accountability, responsibility. He prays before games. You know, he's the player's coach that holds everybody to a higher standard, that you all look up to him. I've heard people tell me now that in Boston that he's slinking around the facility, doesn't have that bravado. You can't survive this. And the fact that they lied about it, that was bad. I'll tell you my other theory, and then we'll move on. 20 seconds. Now I know why Amy fired him out of the blue with the Titans, right? He was having this affair back, we understand, allegedly back in 2020. I have no doubt she knew about it. Our owner, for whatever her problems are, Amy Adams, and she, you know, it's not a well-run franchise, but she's a goody two-shoes. She's a devout Christian. She's a conservative. She doesn't like any of this stuff. And there's never any the only drama they ever had was with AJ, and they got rid of him. They don't like drama. And I think she saw this coming, and that's why she jettisoned him out of there, out of the blue, called him into the office, fired him in 7 seconds. No reason for that because he had been so good with him. I think she knew about it and got him out.
Yeah. I mean, that probably is the case. I know the Titans, they never really have that much drama going on in the organization.
It was a confounding fire otherwise because he'd been a success.
Nobody could figure it out, but now I know. And that's how she is. I mean, she's got her issues. It's not a well-run organization. She makes a lot. She's made a lot of changes.
You know, John, if that in fact did happen, that shows a lot of class on her part because she could have easily say, we're firing him because this guy is a douchebag and he's been sleeping around. She could have easily said that, but she didn't. If in fact that was the reason why she fired him.
Just said it was time for change. That was it. She had a 6-sentence answer. There were no press conferences, no drama. Just we decided it was time for a change. That's it. Right. And I know this lady knew about it. And I knew it didn't sit well with her, and I think that's why he's out.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be fired. I don't think he's going anywhere. I'm
with Logan.
Yeah, very good coach. The Patriots, not going to get into that, but they've made some choices in their franchise that I don't think they're going to care about this situation.
He may leave on his own.
Maybe
if John's news is right, that he's just out of funk.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
the Patriots seem to like scandals given their history, so I don't see Robert Kraft firing.
Us against the world.
If he leaves, it will be his own doing, in my opinion.
But I have to wait and see on that. I think Mike Tomlin is pretty happy with his situation currently and waiting on in the next year or two for the best situation. Maybe the Patriots. It might be the Patriots, but I think Tomlin is going to be in the booth this year and then wait patiently for the correct situation. With that being said, let's all go around and give our best bets across any landscape: hockey, Kentucky Derby, baseball, basketball, whatever you want. John, give me your best bets to start.
2 best bets. I love the Tampa Lightning tomorrow. That's number 1. Number 2, I love Minnesota Wild in the first game, not the series, first game at Avalanche. I think they catch the Avs reading their own clippings. And then I love number 12, Chief Wallahoo, to win the Kentucky Derby at 9-1.
Okay. Dan?
How can I not pick an NBA game today? I will pick the Boston Celtics in Game 7 of their series against the Sixers.
All right. Brendan?
I'm going all hockey. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to open their series with a win over those filthy Flyers tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to go with John. I love Tampa Bay at home to close out the series against Montreal. And for game 1 against Minnesota versus Colorado, I'm going to take Minnesota to jump out to a 1-0 lead.
All right. Smart.
And Sack? Coach?
I've never been referred to as Sacks before, but I'll take that as a compliment. I like the number 8 horse. So happy in today's Kentucky Derby. 6-1 odds currently. So so happy. And then I'm not gonna buck the trend here. Game 7 tomorrow night. The best goaltender probably over the last 5 to 10 years, Andrei Vasilevsky, in the nets. How do you go against him? On home ice, Game 7. Take the Lightning. The Canadians missed their opportunity last night.
Yep, I like the Lightning. Best bet as well. For baseball, a random one, but I like the Yankees over the Orioles today. I also like the Pirates over the Reds. That's biased though, so do what you will with that one. But I think the Yankees over the Orioles. And for NBA, I got the Celtics over the Sixers today. I got the Pistons over the Magic tomorrow. And then my one upset, I got the Raptors over the Cavaliers tomorrow on the road to finish out all these Game 7s. Don't want to miss those. But with that being said,
Yay basketball.
Yes, yay basketball. A lot of Game 7s and a lot of Game 7s in hockey too. I think you can't go wrong with this. This is a good time for sports. There's a lot going on. The Kentucky Derby today, baseball, hockey, basketball. There's a lot of fun things going on in sports, and it doesn't matter what you like. There's a little bit of something for everyone right now. Even the World Cup is starting soon. I love the World Cup, and I never watch soccer except for that. So overall, you can't go wrong with how the sports world is going right now.
And this is why you got to download our app. If you are in West Virginia and you love West Virginia athletics, you want to follow football, baseball. They won last night. They're going to the tournament. They could go to Omaha. You got rifle. You got soccer. You got everything there, all on WVSportsNation.com. And now you can download their free app, WVSportsNation.com. Just go to the App Store or go to Google Play. If you have an Android, put in WV Sports Nation. Your app comes right up. It's right there. You can like what you want. You can get alerts if you so choose. And we're going to close out with this. Al's got a great ad he's going to play that he did for our WV Sports Nation app. Logan, everybody, super job. See you next week.
Right now, download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play and get the entire Mountaineer sports world in the palm of your hand. Right now, get notified when new stories drop about your favorite Mountaineers teams and athletes. Download the WV Sports Nation app right now. Get updates on next level Mountaineers like Weatherholt and Joe Mazzulla. All that and more right in your pocket right now. Download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Download the app right now.